talking today about the cheapest ticket to get you near space, at least for right now. Dallin Adams with Tech Republic is here with me right now. This is a really cool story here, Dallin. So interesting to think about this and talk about this. Space Perspective is the company that you wrote about here. Tell us more about this, and is this something that the average person may be able to do in the future?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to speak with one of the co-founders and co-CEOs of the company, Space Perspective. And yeah, instead of they're kind of reinventing the whole space tourism model. Instead of utilizing the latest rocket technology and propulsion systems, they're actually just using existing technologies. Instead of taking a rocket to space or near space, they're using high altitude, high performance balloons with a pressurized capsule sort of tethered to this balloon to take people to 100,000 feet, or essentially 99.9% of the atmosphere. So it's technically not space, but it's pretty close. It's the edge of space.
That's pretty close. But when you hear just the word balloon, it just doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. A lot of people are like, well, why balloons? And the two individuals behind the company started a previous company before this one that was called Worldview Enterprises. And that organization, that company utilized high performance balloons that are involved in remote sensing. So this was kind of like a natural progression of that technology in a different industry.
And it's really interesting, specifics involved here, Dallin. So talk a little bit about how it will work, where they'll take off from, all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. They're taking off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. And they will launch from land, and then they'll eventually splash down in water, but splash down is a bit of an overstatement. We'll get to that in just a second. And it's going to rise at about 12 miles an hour. So it'll take about 2 hours to reach 99% of the atmosphere, a bit more than that. And then it will coast along the upper atmosphere for about 2 hours. On board, individuals have a refreshment bar. There is a restroom. And then there's also Wi-Fi, so you can essentially snap selfies in real time. And yeah, then it'll make its descent back down to Earth. And at that point in time, that'll take about 2 hours. And then the splashdown happens. And I think the idea of that maybe also catches people, maybe is a little unsettling. But unlike the videos you see of sort of like the reentry capsules coming from the space station that kind of come in on parachute and then like hit the water, the bottom of the pressurized capsule is attenuated. So it kind of looks almost like a spinning top. So that like elongated bottom eventually kind of hits the water slowly, making the landing a lot more comfortable than it would be in a typical splashdown in a reentry capsule.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing is the typical what we've seen before, and that seems a little bit overwhelming. So the big question, of course, do we know how much this is going to cost, and when will this become a reality?
Yeah, so the first uncrewed test flight is scheduled for next year, and the price is it's still somewhat up in the air. I specifically asked her about the cost of a ticket up, and she said nothing is official yet. I know other organizations in like space flight, such as Virgin Galactic, are charging about $250,000 for a ticket. When I asked Space Perspective specifically about this, they said, well, we're going to charge about half of what a suborbital flight costs, which is, if you do the math on that, it's about $125,000. But again, nothing is official.
All right. So if you have just, I don't know, a couple 100,000 sitting around, maybe you and some friends can head up. So would that be something, Dallin, you would do? Are you that brave?
I think I would totally do this eventually. I'm not going to get in a pressurized capsule in the middle of a pandemic, but I will totally do that if I didn't have to shell up $125,000.
Right. Maybe they'll give like a media discount, or, have you write a first-hand account of what it's like to go up there. All right, some really cool stuff there. And I know, Dallin, you have much more on Space Perspective and these suborbital flights, of course, in your article there on Tech Republic. So we hope all of you will check that out. Thanks for watching.